All right, guys, today's learning target for lesson 10.1. 10.1, so you can look in your table of contents and find that in your My Book. Our learning target today is going to be I can tell time to the nearest minute. So what you can see I did is I drew a clock on my dry eraser board here, and I used a bunch of different colors to represent some different things that we're going to learn about today. Now, some of you may be a little familiar with this already, and some of you may have never seen a clock like this before. So let's go over a few quick things. First things first, they call this the shorthand and the longhand on a clock. Okay, this one right here, the shorthand, does anybody know what that represents? That represents the hour of the day. And then does anybody know what this longhand represents? Think about it. If this represents the hour, what do you think this would represent? The longhand represents the minutes. Now, this is a question that many of you probably know the answer to, but how many minutes are in 1 hour? How many minutes are in 1 hour? And that is 60 minutes are in 1 hour. And there's a reason why I said that first, because we're going to talk about it once we start identifying some of what these other colors represent. And then you're also going to be looking at how many hours in a day. So think about it. How many minutes are in an hour? We said 60. How many hours are in a day? Okay, there are 24 hours in one day. But wait a second. How come there's only 12 represented on the clock? We're going to learn about that in this chapter. Okay, so first things first. I want you guys to identify on my clock where the red numbers are. Okay? These red numbers are what's going to help you identify the hour. Okay? And then I also want you guys to take a look here. Do you see these little green tally marks they look like? Okay? In between each one of the red numbers. They're going to represent the minutes. Okay? And then notice how I did, it looked like these bunny hops on the outside. You're probably wondering, okay, I've seen a clock before, but I've never seen these things on the outside, these little bunny hops. And then there's 5, 10, 15, and then it stops. So these bunny hops, guys, they represent the minutes. So if you look here, this is what they would call the 12 is the top of the hour. So you notice how I put 0, because when it hits the 12, you're going to mark that as 0 minutes. And then look at each green tally mark. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we hit the 1. So that would be 5 minutes past the hour. Let's continue going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, another 5. If you put 5 and 5 together, what does that give you? All right, this is where your multiplication skills are going to come in. So we have 5, 10. If you jump another 5 to the 3, it gives you 15. If you jump another 5 minutes to the 4, that gives you, I know you guys know this because you're studs at multiplication here, 20. After the 25 more gives you 25. After 25, you jump 5 more to the 6, and this is 30. All right, now let's continue to do a little speed round here. So we're at 30. Let's jump up by 5s. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then if we jumped up another 5 from 55, what would it be? 60. And look down here. How many minutes are in an hour? 60 minutes in an hour. So if we take this longhand, which shows us the minutes, and it goes from 12 and it goes all the way around the clock, and it hits back on the 12, how many minutes has it traveled? 60. Okay, so now that we've identified the important aspects of a clock, I want to show you a few different ways that you could write it. Okay, and I'm going to actually put this right here because I don't have too much room on my dry eraser board. So we have the shorthand, which is represented, what is that again, guys? That is the hour, and that's pointing directly at the 12. Okay, and then we have the longhand. What does that represent? The minute. That's pointing at the 6. Okay, so would we say it's 12:06? No, right? We wouldn't say that. Would we say it's 12:30? No, we wouldn't say that either. When you're telling time, you're going to identify the hour first, and then you're going to represent what minute it shows. Okay, now, if it's pointing directly at the 6, I want you to refer to when we counted up the minutes with the blue. Okay, how many minutes past the hour is it? Okay, how many minutes past the hour is it? So what I'm going to tell you right now is I could write this as 12, TWELVE, 30, THIRTY. But I can also write it another way, and this is the way that you're going to see most people write their time. All right, they're going to represent it by the number 12, which is the hour, and then a colon, which is looks like 2 periods on top of one another. And then they're going to represent the minutes. So let's again make sure that we're counting the right way. So the the longhand is pointing at the 6. Let's count up how many minutes that is. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and you got it, 30. 12:30. And then this is how some old folks would say it. Don't say this to your parents. They could say 30 minutes past 12. This is like the weirdest way. But is there only one way to solve a math problem? You guys know the answer to that. Okay? So this is just a small little tutorial for you guys to get you familiar with what we are going to be doing in this chapter. Now, if you look at the unlock your problem, and I put this in our discussion post on what you guys are going to have to do today, this is really going to help you, this little mini lesson with the unlock your problem. I want you to try the unlock your problem, the share and show, and the on your own. Anything that you don't understand, don't worry, it's okay. Just give your best effort, and then you're going to try to answer the question that I posted in our discussion, and we can talk about it as a class. So again, we're going to be talking more about this as we go throughout the chapter, but I just want you guys to keep the learning target in mind, okay? Identify times up to the minute. What does the shorthand represent? What does the longhand represent? And then how do you count up the minutes? How do you count up the minutes? All right, I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions, post in the discussion, and we'll talk about it as a class throughout the week. Have a great day.